Good morning, dear participants. We are in the 9th day of our webinar session. Welcome to the session on a Saturday. Today we are having two resource persons who would be addressing us. The first person would be Dr. N. Ponpandian. He is a professor and head Department of Nanoscience and Technology, Bharathiar University. He would be talking on the topic role of IQAC in higher education institutions. As teachers, you all know that today NAC is one of the most important parameter in higher education. Without NAC, you would not be able to maintain the autonomous status, and the MHRD is made it compulsory that all the institutions should have been NAC accredited by 2021-22. So the IQAC plays a very major role in the institution where the colleges are NAC accredited, and hence we have invited Dr. N. Ponpandian, who is one of the senior most professors in Bharathiar University, to talk on the topic role of IQAC in higher education. The second session will be handled by Dr. AGV Narayanan, Director, DJ Academy of Managerial Excellence, Coimbatore. He would be talking on the topic traits of a good teacher. Dr. AGV Narayanan, I don't think requires much introduction. He has been working in various affiliated colleges for the past 25 years. He is a management teacher and he has been director in various institutions. Currently, he is the director of DJ Academy of Managerial Science at Coimbatore. I would like to welcome both the resource persons for today's webinar. I would request Dr. Ponpandian sir to take over the session. Welcome to the session, sir, and have a wonderful session. Thank you, sir.
A very good morning to all of you. First of all, I thank the Association of Principal for giving me the opportunity to deliver my lecture in this webinar series. Today, I'm going to discuss about another 30 minutes or 40 minutes about the role of internal quality assurance cell in higher education. This is not an internal quality assurance cell. Nowadays, it all considered as an internal quality assurance system, because the cell is again a simple unit. We consider this as a system. Okay, we have to make a system to make the higher education institution go to a better way. Okay, initial part of my lecture, I can explain little bit about the assessment and accreditation process, and again I can explain little bit about the NAC, why we need the NAC assessment for our higher education institution. Then I can explain about how the internal quality assurance cell have to maintain the quality in the higher education institutions. Okay, the first what we have to look for is assessment. Okay, why do we need the assessment? For example, the assessment is the process of value and organization. Okay, so for example, that assessment can be done internally or externally. For example, within your departments of the any higher education institution also, you can make some assessment and comparison. That is a one kind of assessment. And another kind of assessment is the external assessment. There one is a NAC. There is a National Assessment and Accreditation Council. They are assessing our institution. During this assessment, what they are doing is, instead of checking all your internal quality things, based on the 7-point criteria, they also comparing your institution with neighboring institution and again the institution throughout India. That is the reason they are comparing altogether and giving the NAC grade and again the NAC credits. Now, why do you need the assessment? Here, in order to see the viability of organization and to meet the core objective of the organization concerned. This is what we have to do assessment. Okay, based on the assessment only we can see how we are and where we are. Okay, there is a reason we have to do the assessment of any higher education institution. Then after that, the accreditation. Okay, after the assessment, you have to give the accreditation, then only you can get the grade or rank. Here, the accreditation is the process of ranking an organization on the basis of its assessment. Whatever the thing they are assessed from the higher education institution, they are giving the assessment, the accreditation, that is actually the rank. Okay, whether you are getting the A++, A+ or A or B++, B+, all these things are based on the assessment made in the higher education institution. Okay, now why do we need the accreditation again? Here, this accreditation provides the assurance and formal recognition of the competence of an organization and its staff in performing the specific tasks. Here, the NAC have a certain parameters. Again, so there are several other ranking agencies. You know that one of the another important thing is the NIRF, National Institutional Ranking Framework. Now, the government is insisting us to go for multiple accreditation and ranking. In order to that, we have to go for NIRF. And again, another thing is actually the world rankings. They are the QS. That there comes the QS. Another important thing is the Times Higher Education. In all these ranking agencies and accreditation agencies, they all need the performance of the particular institution, but the parameters differ for all the agencies. The NAC, they have a 7-point criteria, and again, NIRF have a different criteria and data sets, and again, the QS ranking and Times Higher Education, they need a different sets of data. Okay, therefore, the data vary. The parameter.
Sorry for interruption, sir. Sir, your voice is little bit feeble. If the voice can be little bit louder, because the participants are putting a message that they are not able to hear you, sir.
Oh, okay. Mic is not able to hear, or?
Little bit voice louder so that everyone can really hear, sir.
Voice. Okay, sir. Okay.
Can
you hear me? Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, now it's okay, sir. Okay, now it's okay, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. This accreditation provides again the quality. You have to make a comparison with another institution nearby your institution. Okay, which institution is best? Again, that comes from the ranking. Again, the CGPA which we have obtained from the NAC. Again, NIRF ranking. There are several parameters. Okay, all these parameters have a weightage. Based on the weightage only, they are giving the ranks. All these are based on the internal quality. This internal quality has to be maintained by the internal quality assurance cell of that particular institution. Now, most of the higher education institution, they are using this internal quality assurance cell as actually only to get the NAC accreditation for that particular institution. This is not like that. That the internal quality assurance cell is a one part of that higher education institution. For example, in specific, it is a heart of that particular higher education institution. Okay, thereby this is a very, very important cell in that particular institution. They have to play throughout the year, and all the 365 days they have to work for that higher education institution. Then only the quality of that particular institution can be maintained, but that has to be maintained in several ways. I can explain you one by one. Here, the NAC, you all know that it is an autonomous body established by the University Grant Commission, again to assess and to give the accreditation for the institution of higher education in the country, and to maintain trust is to uphold the quality of higher education in our nation. This is what the NAC is doing. Again, now the NIRF, based on these two, the NAC and NIRF, several funding parameters also again decided by the MHRD. That's the Ministry of Human Resource Development. They are providing fund nowadays based on the NAC accreditation as well as the NIRF ranking. Again, for example, recently, the last year, they have categorized the university as a category 1, 2, 3. That also based on the NAC accreditation. We are all insisting the UGC to consider the NIRF ranking too. Okay, thereby the assessment and accreditation is a very, very important one. For the assessment and accreditation, the internal quality assurance will play a major role. Okay. Here, these are actually the core values of the NAC. First one is a contribution to national development, again, fostering global competence among students, again, inculcating a value system among the students, again, promoting the use of technology, cost per excellence. These are the 5 core values of the NAC. Now, these are again the key tasks of NAC. What are the key tasks again? To conduct a periodic assessment for the assessment and accreditation of any higher education institution thereof, or a specific academic programs or project that also to be assessed and accredited. Okay. Now, the NAC, they are assessing the educational institution in full-fledged assessment, or even some part also may be assessed. For example, if it is a education that is a part of that particular, that also assessed separately. Again, the physical education like that. Again, to stimulate the academic environment for promotion of quality of teaching, learning, and research in higher education institution. These are the few key tasks of NAC. Again, another two is actually to encourage self-evaluation, accountable, autonomy, and innovation in higher education. This is another important thing. In the administration process, the decentralization is an important point. Okay, because otherwise the administration is very, very difficult, that everyone knows. Okay, in order to make a decentralization, you have to make several self-evaluation processes. Okay, that to be done. Again, the autonomy has to be given for individual sets of your sections, and again to undertake quality related research studies, consultancy, as well as the training programs. Another important key task is to collaborate with other stakeholders in higher education for quality evaluation, promotion, and sustenance. For example, if it is a college, it's an affiliated college or autonomous college, first they have to start some collaboration with the nearby colleges, again the affiliated university, again the nearby higher education institution. Then you can start the collaboration with all the higher education institution and another institution, another industries in our country. In order to make this collaboration, the IQAC also has to play some role, that I will come back later, how we can help. Again, the quality. What is the quality again? The quality that as a fitness for purposes, again to this actually to make a ability to meet the stated purpose of education. This is what the quality. The quality is a very, very important for every higher education institution. Here, these are actually the quality definition by NAC. First one is again the cost for excellence that comes from the quality of the higher education institution. Again, understanding the concept, action orientation, learner-centric approach, innovation for change, training to build competencies, again, year-round activity. These are the main important parameters to make the quality of any higher education institution defined by the NAC. Okay, we'll see one by one in the coming slide. Okay, how one can attain the quality for the higher education institution, how it comes. The first one is a curriculum. Okay, curriculum has to be developed in a competitive way. Okay, for example, we don't begin the industry, but our curriculum actually has to be prepared based on the industrial needs. Okay, we don't have to listen the industries, but we have to prepare the curriculum based on the industry needs. Okay, not only industry needs, again the local industry needs. That is again another important thing. Thereby, the curriculum has to be divided into several parts. Okay, one is to actually, for example, the needs for the local industry. Based on that, you have to give some part of the curriculum. Again, the nationwide needs, certain things are there. You have to prepare certain papers for that. Again, the global needs. You have to consider all the things to prepare the curriculum. Again, based on the industrial development, also we have to change our curriculum. That is the reason our university in the recent days, our university is insisting to prepare the curriculum based on the industry 4.0. Okay, but this industry 4.0, again, it's based on the computers. Okay, especially the networking, the things. Okay, now if you don't have to learn much of computer related things, but how our subject we can again further improve based on the computer based technology, because then only you can take it to the further steps. For example, the internet of things, that is one of the component in the industry 4.0. Based on that, there are several sensors are working. Okay, because my area of research is actually again the sensor. Again, these sensor are controlled by the internet. Okay, now I can include certain topic based on the computer based internet. Again, that can be incorporated in the syllabus of maybe some papers. Okay, this is what the curriculum has to be improved. Again, some part, for example, in the affiliated colleges, the development of curriculum is not playing much role. Okay, because the university, they are preparing the syllabus for the affiliated colleges. They are just delivering that curriculum to the students. Okay, but how they can enrich the curriculum? It is possible. They can also include some of the skill development program as a certificate courses, diploma courses, again postgraduate diploma courses. In that way, they can enrich the curriculum. That is what the development again. Okay, there are not much flexibilities there in the affiliated colleges. Even then, they can put some extra effort to get for example, they can add some more hours for their class hours, and through that they can have some certificate courses as well as the diploma courses, again the value added courses. In that way, they can enrich the curriculum that can actually reflect in the NAAC SSR of that particular institution. Another important thing is, if the curriculum is good, again the next part is the curriculum delivering of that particular curriculum that need the teaching learning process. Okay, the teachers, that may be a good quality teachers. The first one is a good quality teachers. Again, how they are delivering that particular curriculum. What are the ways they are delivering the curriculum? Okay, that is another important thing. There, whenever they deliver the curriculum, there are different things. Nowadays, they are using the ICT-based technologies. In the ICT-based technologies also, there are so many parameters, so many techniques are there. They have to use that particular techniques to teach that particular curriculum to the students. Again, the reception, how the students, they are for getting the knowledge from this particular teachers. Some students are actually some advanced learners. When the teachers tell something, then immediately they can catch. But some of the teachers are very poor learners. They are very slow learners. In that way, the teachers has to change their techniques to give explanation to that particular. These are all comes under the teaching learning process. The next important thing is the research and development. This is very, very tough task in the affiliated colleges. Very, very difficult to score in this particular criteria, that is a research and development. But even then, you can do some small research. If, for example, some particular affiliated college, they have only UG courses, then in the UG courses itself, you can incorporate certain project-based learning. Now, all the curriculum, because the NAAC and UGC, they are insisting us to put the project-based learning. Okay, if you put the project-based learning later, that project. Okay. that later that project may be converted into some research and you can publish them. For example, the teacher quality also can be published in some journals. Okay, for your teaching materials also can be published in some journals. Okay, that is also possible. In that way, you can improve the research and development, because if you do the research, then only you can deliver certain new topics to the students. If you don't have any research, you can just whatever you can read from the books, that only deliver to the particular students. If you do research, then only you can tell something new to the students, because all the books that can be read by the students, but some new knowledge that comes from the teacher. Okay, teachers are actually have a lot of experience. The students doesn't have that much experience. Because of the experience, the teachers can explain the topic in a very better way. That is the reason the students can easily understand the concept. Thereby, the teaching learning process there, the teacher quality and how you are delivering the particular curriculum and the methodology, that all comes under the teaching learning process. All these parameters are very, very important. Again, based on that, the research also make a thing. The next important thing is the infrastructure development. Okay, for example, some of the infrastructure development means, for one of the important thing is the internet. The ICT facilities needs internet. Here, you need lot of infrastructure facilities basing from the physical infrastructure, the space, again the sitting chair, starting from the sitting chair, table, as well as the student, as well as the students, they need lot of things. Wi-Fi connectivity. For example, if you make a Wi-Fi connectivity, nowadays the students has to go for online courses. Swayam, MOOC, all these courses. Some of the colleges, they stopped using the mobile phones. Okay, if they don't use the mobile phone, the college has to give the internet connectivity with a computer. For example, some of the colleges may have 1,000 students, some of the college may have 5,000 students. We have to provide the computer facility with the internet to all the students. Is it possible? Some colleges it may not be possible. Thereby, they have to use the mobile phone. Okay, every new technology has to be open to all the students, but the usage has to be monitored. That is an important thing. Okay, the usage is a very, very important thing, but how they are utilizing that particular new technology. That is, for that we have to give certain idea. Okay, for example, every new technology have their own advantage, again their own disadvantage. You know that the internet have both. Okay, that like a knife, it can either cut the fruits and it also cut the finger in our hand. Okay, like that the internet also can do both. Okay, if you use it in a positive way, that can give lot of input to improve the skill of the particular students. If they use it in the opposite way, they will be disturbed. Okay, this is a problem with the new technology. Here, some of the colleges, they stop this particular usage of the mobile phones. Nowadays, these mobile phones are very, very important again for the learning purposes. Okay, it may be that colleges may reconsider, and again that has to be, for example, even if you stop that particular usage in the college campus also, whenever they come out from that particular college, they can addict further. The remaining entire time they can use the particular mobile phone. This is a problem with the technology. Again, another infrastructure. There are a lot of other infrastructure development also should be done by the particular college and the management. Again, the student support, like the start from the scholarship, there are a lot of other things to do. Again, the governance and leadership is another important thing. Here, every institution, they have to make their whole. Okay, the first thing is the short-term goal, again the medium-time goals, again the long-time goal. These are very important for the particular higher education institution. There, based on the particular goal only, they can improve their quality. Okay, here again, another important thing is the governance. Here the governance, here you need a lot of decentralization process and all has to be monitored. That is another important thing. Finally, the innovative and best practices. Here, every institutions, they have a certain innovative best practices. Okay, that should be something different from the nearby institutions. Okay, so there are a lot of innovative things. Okay, now I have explained there are six criteria before that. Okay, any one of the criteria, whenever you are executing in your institution, you have certain unique quality. Okay, that can be considered as a innovative one. Again, you can do lot of best practices. Maybe some all the higher education institution have a n number of best practices, but the innovative things from the best practices you can choose either 3 or 4 as your innovative from your innovative ideas that will not be followed in nearby institutions. Okay, this again, now you think of all these 7 criteria, these are actually considered in the NAC. There is a criterion 1 to 7. These are the criteria. Okay, if you go for all these, if you improve these things, automatically your institution will be go to the higher state. You don't have to maintain, after that you don't have to maintain any other quality. Okay, for example, the curriculum and teaching learning is good, then the high quality students will automatically come to that particular institution. And from that, if there is a high quality students, automatically the research and development will automatically improve. And for that, you have to provide the infrastructure, student support. And again, if you have a good governance, then all the things will come to the higher education institution. Then your institution will completely qualified for assessment and accreditation. Okay, if you have all these 7 qualities, even you don't have to go for assessment and accreditation. That is what. Okay, for example, why do every assessment, what the NAC assessor is doing, they are assessing and finally they are finding some weak places, and they are give some suggestion to improve those areas in the before the next cycle, that is within another 5 years. This is what the quality is improved. Okay, what they expect, again the NAC, your institution has to further improve. It's already improved with it during the assessment period. How it can be further improved? This is what the process. Okay, during that process, one of the important criteria is student satisfactory survey. Okay, for example, whenever the NAC peer team visit all the institutions, how they train their students to answer the certain questions asked by the NAC assessor. Okay, when we ask some question from the students, they tell only the positive things about that particular institution. This is not the way to answer the questions. Okay, they should not praise the institutions. What they can tell is our institute have a certain things, but this is not enough. Even though they are giving lot of things, these things has to be improved. For example, the transport. There are a lot of students, they come from the nearby villages. That particular college has some 10 number of buses. Okay, the number of students may be 2000. The 10 number of buses may not be enough. That students, they can, what they can answer is, our college have a 10 bus, that is not enough for our transportation. If they can give another few buses, then our transportation may be compatible. Then that can be recorded as a recommendation in the during the NAC assessment process. Then within next 5 years, definitely the college has to they have to they add another 5 buses definitely. During this recommendation, they can easily add these 5 buses. This is what the infrastructure. This is what infrastructure development. Okay, now for example, the NAC assessment member, the assessors comes, they can tell something critically about the curriculum. There, they can somehow critically explain about your question papers. Okay, they have a critical assessment about your question paper. They can always tell that this question paper is not actually getting the knowledge of that particular students. For that, you have to ask the question in a different way. Okay, then you can change the question paper in pattern in the next time. For example, if you are asking the descriptive type question, the assessor may tell that you can go for objective type questions. Okay, in that way you can improve the knowledge. For example, now in the section A question of any course, maybe 1 mark questions, that is a descriptive type question. If the descriptive type question, the students ask some few lines, then we automatically put some half mark like that, for if it is correct or not. But when you go to the objective type question, whether it is a 1 or 0, thereby you can easily get the knowledge of that particular students. Okay, this is what somehow checking the evaluation process. This is the evaluation process. The NAAC assessment, during the NAAC assessment process, they can suggest something. This is what enhancing the quality in terms of evaluation process or curriculum development. Again, like that, they can tell us to improve the particular higher education institution further. This is what the quality enhancement. Now, why do you need the quality? For example, if the particular higher education institution have certain quality, then only the students can come to that particular higher education. There, the first one is a competence. Again, the customer, you have to satisfy the customer. That means the stakeholders. The first thing is the student. You have to satisfy the students with the curriculum and the infrastructure. And again, the parents. How do you satisfy the parents? If after studying that particular students in your institution, after completing their degree, they have to either go for higher education or they have to go for some particular job. There, the parents have certain satisfaction. Therefore, you have to satisfy the parents. Again, the teachers, the particular higher education institution has to satisfy the teachers' expectation also. Okay, the teachers also need some expectation. Okay, for example, that ICT facilities, the facilities has to be improved. Again, their transportation, for example, if they need some accommodation inside the particular institution, that also to be provided. Again, the certain insurance, again, the on-duty permissions, all these things are again teachers' expectation. Okay, all these customer satisfaction is another important thing to maintain the quality. Again, maintaining the standards of the particular institution. The standard, for example, if it is an autonomous college, okay, in the examination process, okay, in the examination process is a very, very important thing. Okay, there how the questions are asked. Nowadays, we are introducing the outcome-based education. There, the evaluation process play a major role. Okay, there you have to, for example, the certificate is a very, for example, how you are preparing the question paper is a very, very important thing. How one can follow the Bloom taxonomy to prepare the question paper. Based on that, how they are evaluating the examination, how they are evaluating that particular examination paper, all are very, very important. Here, how again, the maintaining standard means, for example, some of the colleges, they put some grace mark during, if the question paper is very tough. Here, they have to maintain certain quality. Year by year, they should not release that particular thing. The first year, they can give some grace mark as 2 mark, then the next year, 3 mark, the next year. This should not be there, okay? They have to maintain the constant things. Thereby, they can maintain this. This is one particular comment. There are so many things to be maintained in a very standard way. I can tell you only one example. Again, the accountability is another important thing. Again, to enhance the employee moral and motivation. Again, credibility, prestige, and status. Again, image and visibility. All should actually maintain the quality of the higher education institution. Now, I forgot to tell you one thing. All the higher education institution, they are doing a lot of wonderful things. Okay, they are conducting so many programs year around. Okay, for example, one particular faculty, take example as a faculty, one particular faculty, they are attending so many programs in each academic year, and they are going for several board of studies meeting, and again they are going for paper valuation. They are attending so many conferences. Even then, the end of the year, they are not maintaining any records. Okay, if you ask some report from that particular faculty, they complete the end of the year, they forgot most of the things. Okay, if they maintain certain record, all the letters received from all the other institutions, and again the attendance certificates, all the things should be maintained. Again, these students should be recorded immediately their curriculum writing. Okay, this is important. This is what again another important thing to maintain the quality. If they have all the credentials in their record, they can easily give it to the particular higher education institution. Thereby, their record, the institution records will be maintained. If the institution record is maintained in a perfect way, that NAC accreditation process is nothing. Okay, you can easily go for NAC nowadays, because it's after converting from the offline process to online process. This is very simple process. If you have all the process for all the records, only they are asking the numbers. Okay, if the records, you can just scan it and put it as a evidences, and you have to provide only the number as a data there. Okay, thereby this process, this present process of NAC is very simple. From that, if you maintain all the records, even the department also don't have to do separately any work to maintain the quality of that. Because if you have to maintain all the quality factors, for example, if the faculty maintain all these records, their qualifications, again, that's, for example, academic credentials, for board of studies meeting, academic council meeting, like that, if all the records, and again the publications, again the projects, like that, individual faculty maintain their records, that only transferred to the particular higher education institution. Thereby, they can easily maintain the record. Thereby, you can easily go for any accreditation process, again the data process. Okay, this is what you can maintain the things. Again, another image and visibility is a very important thing. The image can be created based on the quality of that particular institution. Again, the visibility also that comes through the assessment and accreditation process. Here, these are actually the contribution to national development by the NAC. One is the more access with equity, and again the development thrust in identification of research areas and academic programs. Again, community engagement, that is an important thing, how one can engage the community. Again, these are again how the competence has created in the among the students. Here, the development of generic skills, development of application skills, development of life skills. These are the things we have to explain to the students, or we have to teach to the students, how one can develop the generic, again the application, as well as the life skills. For that only, we have to enrich our curriculum in the form of certificate, diploma, and value added courses. In that way, the students will be much beneficial. They can start their own, they become entrepreneur, because one of the important goal of the government right now is actually we have to make the student as an entrepreneur, not as a job seekers. If they become an entrepreneur, then we don't have any problem in the searching of jobs. For that, we have to teach the particular students in this aspect, generic, application, and life skill. Again, another, inculcating a value system among the students. How one can inculcate the value system? Here, the integration in academic program, value integration in academic programs, again, value integration in management practices, again, values inculcation through co-curricular and extracurricular activities. That is another important criteria, because we are delivering the curricular activities in a better way by teaching. But nowadays, many institutions, many of the colleges, they are conducting so many co-curricular and extracurricular activities, but some of the colleges or institutions, these records are not maintained. They are asking so many records, okay, for starting from the selection of that particular students for the value added program. From that, the attendance, syllabus of that particular program, again, what are who are the beneficiaries, and what are the how they can benefit from that particular curriculum by the value added courses or certificate courses. All the records should be maintained, again, after the delivery of the curriculum also. For example, you have to look for that particular students, where they are doing, what they are doing. All the things has to be recorded. After maybe 2 or 3 years also, you should be recorded. This is another evaluation process of outcome-based education, because in the program objective, that can be checked only after the students graduating after 2 or 3 years. Then only you can check whether your curriculum is actually exactly delivering certain things for that particular student. Thereby, the value inculcation through the co-curricular and extracurricular activities is another important thing. We are conducting so many programs, but that should be recorded in a perfect way. And again, the promoting the use of technology, that's what I expressed, the ICT facilities for enrichment of learning process. Again, increasing the access online programs. Okay, the online programs also, nowadays, all the institutions, they are introduced the online programs by SWAYAM. This is not the only online portal. There are so many online portal, because in the SWAYAM portal, the courses are very limited. The number of courses for some specific subjects are very, very limited. They can go for any other online portal also, NPTEL, Coursera, like that. There are so many portals are there. In that, there are so many outstanding programs are there. By that, they can improve their knowledge. Again, in order to access the online programs, the infrastructure has to be maintained. For example, every higher education institution, they should have a separate lab or lab-like things in a library to access this online program. Most of the institutions, they have it already. If you don't have, you can make it one, and through that, for example, the SWAYAM programs also can be visible, and again, you can run certain video lectures, and again, lot of internet-based learnings also can be done. And again, for system management also can be done. Okay, for example, now certain colleges, they have give certain tablet-like things. Through that, the teachers are controlling everything. Okay, starting from the syllabus, they are controlling the students' attendance, everything. Okay, again, there is a management. For example, here ERP is another play a major role. If we ask certain data for certain purposes, NAC, NIRF purposes, if you ask certain data for individual departments, if you ask for the NAC today, they will give certain numbers. How many number of applications of your department, they can give it as 20 or 100. Okay, then the next day, you can ask some other report. For example, for the NIRF ranking, you can ask some more report that how many articles you have it in your department, then they can tell it as either 110 or 90. Okay, this is what the data management system is a very important thing that should be maintained in all the higher education institution through the internet. Again, the ERP is very, very important in all the higher education institution. If you put the ERP, then you can extract the data in a perfect way, because nowadays we have to provide data for several agencies. For example, you have to provide the data for All India Survey on Higher Education, and again the NIRF, again the NAC. If you go for some international ranking, again you have to prepare the data in different format. That is another important. You have to provide the data and again the different format. Instead of that, you can put the data in one single umbrella and extract the data from there for the your needs for the NIRF and again NAC. Then it will be very, very easy. For that, you have to maintain the ERP technique in your institution. Again, these are the places one should have the improvement in the systems. Okay, here the development of benchmark is very, very important. Time to time, you have to change the quality based on the recent technology. Now, the IQAC. Now comes to the IQAC. Maybe I can explain you how the quality can be attained based on the internal quality with few slides, then finish it my lecture. The cell, which is mandate to ensure the quality in any higher education institution. Here, the objective of internal quality assurance cell is to develop a system for conscious, consistent, and catalytic action to improve the academic and administrative performance of the particular institution, again to promote measures for institutional functioning towards quality enhancement through internalization of quality culture and institutionalization of best practices. Here, how one can assess the internal quality of your institution. For that only, we are conducting every year the internal audit through your senior faculty members. Okay, the internal auditing is an important thing that has to be done for every year. Okay, again, the external audit, that we are constituting certain external member from some other organization and doing the assessment. Okay, that is again the external audit. But the NAC, what they are insisting is this is not an external audit. Okay, for example, there are some, our government is there, Tamil Nadu government is there. They have to constitute certain committee and they have to come and assess our internal quality. Okay, this is what this is the external audit. Okay, this external audit has to be done and they have to give suggestion to improve that particular institution. For example, if that particular institution is conducting the external audit, what we used to do, whoever the people we know, from that we have to put that list. Maybe the 10 or 15 faculty members may be selected from other institutions. Out of that, all of the faculty members we know. Okay, from that only we can select few faculty members and they come and audit our institution. Instead of that, the unknown people has to come and audit the particular. This is what the external audit concept of external audit, and that has to be done for once in 2 years or 3 years for the particular higher education institution. Okay, this is based on the internal and external auditing. We can maintain the internal quality of our particular institution. Again, you can make the institutional also. Again, you can do a lot of best practices. Okay, for example, one of the best practice is actually the whitewashing that particular institution. That is also, if you don't have the NAC assessment, many of the institution will never do this particular process also. Okay, this is one simple example, very silly example, but there are so many things to do for quality. Okay, again, these are some of the strategies of internal quality assurance here, ensuring timely, efficient, and progressive performance of academic, administrative, and financial tasks. That is another important thing. For that, the IQAC has to play a major role, because every year, the beginning of every year, they have to set for certain tasks for the particular higher education institution. Again, the management, they have to give some tasks to the management. These are the infrastructures to be developed during this particular academic year. Again, for the administration, the IQAC has to give certain things based on the 7-point criteria. Okay, again, another important thing is the financial matter. Okay, for example, some of the department, they need every year, each department, the administration used to give some 20,000 rupees or some 5 lakhs rupees or 10 lakh rupees. Okay, in particular academic year, one of the department may need more fund from the administration. For that, the IQAC can give certain input to the administration that this particular department need this particular amount because of this reason. Okay, in that way, they can give some recommendation in the financial aspect also. Okay, yeah, thereby the IQAC can influence in terms of academic, administration, and financial terms. Again, the relevance and quality of academic and research programs. Here the ethics, the research ethics, again the IPR ethics, again the, for example, the IT, quality, again the policy, all these needs policy. Every institution, they have their own policy. That policy note should be maintained in all the higher education institutions. Again, equitable, these all again comes under the internal quality assurance cell. Again, equitable access to and affordability of academic programs for various sections of society. And again, how one can take, for example, the students are learning their curriculum, how we can take that curriculum for the public. Okay, that's the extension activity of that particular students, what they have learned from the particular curriculum. Another important thing is optimization and integration of modern. This I have already explained. Again, that also the IQAC has to give time to time recommendation to improve the infrastructure by the administration and management. Again, the credibility of evaluation procedures. Again, ensuring the adequacy, maintenance, and proper allocation of support structure and services. Again, sharing of research findings and networking with other institutions in India and abroad. The IQAC can give idea to collaboration also, make a collaboration also. Okay, the signing MOUs with the nearby institutions and nearby companies and nearby again the affiliated college, the university, and again other institutions throughout India and international institutions. Okay, they can facilitate for it. They know because they are getting the data from all the department. They have to evaluate all the data. From that evaluation, they can give some suggestion to the particular department that you have a lot of credentials, thereby you can apply certain projects, and you have credentials in this area, thereby you can go for some MOU with this particular company. In that way, they can give some ideas to the particular departments. Okay, these are again the strategies of internal quality assurance cell, and again, sorry. These are the functions of the internal quality assurance cell. This is the development and applications of quality benchmarks, again parameters for various academic administrative activities of the institution, again facilitating the creation of learner-centric environment. That is a very, very important. Again, here only you have to consider the advanced learners, again the slow learners, what are the things you are doing, again the mentor-mentee thing. We are all the institution, they are collecting the feedback, and even now they are analyzing the feedback. Previously, they have collected only the feedback. Now most of the institution, they even analyzing the feedback. They have to go for the next step now. After analysis, they have to take the action taken. Okay, this action taken process, even though they are taking, but it's not recorded. Okay, you have to record. Okay, if there is some suggestion from the curriculum, that should be recorded in the board of studies meeting, and if it is affiliated college, and that should be forwarded to the concerned board of studies chairman. Okay, that way you can easily forward all the things to some specific places. Okay, therefore all the things again should be maintained by the IQAC. Again, arrangement for feedback and the feedback response, analysis, and action taken. These are the very important role to play the internal quality by the internal quality assurance cell. Again, dissemination of information on various quality parameters of higher education. These are the functions of IQAC. Again, the organization of inter and intra-institutional workshops, seminars on quality-related themes and promotion of quality circuits. That has to be run by different themes. They have to give the different themes, not only from the subject. For example, the theme can be how to make the leadership quality. That can be for the faculty members. Okay, like that, the teachers training is a very, very important. If the teachers should be trained, keep on training by trained by the teachers training is very, very important. If the teachers are trained, then only that will go to the particular students. Okay, for example, only the teacher reads certain books and deliver that particular curriculum, thereby the students might not be benefited much. If they go for this kind of activities and learn so many things, and that can be delivered to the students, thereby the students can learn lot of things. This is a very, very important thing. And again, the documentation of the various programs, activities, this I have already mentioned. And again, acting as a nodal agency of the institution for coordinating quality related activities, including adoption and dissemination of best practices. Nowadays, for example, through the UGC Paramas program, some of our affiliate, in our university area, for example, Bardiyar University area, many colleges, they are mentors for several other colleges to apply for NAC. They have not yet applied for the NAC. Now, each colleges, they got the A++ rank, they got the Parama scheme. Through that, they are supporting 5 colleges to go for the NAC accreditation. This is very, very important thing. And again, this is what the support. Okay, they become the nodal agency to support other institutions to improve their quality. This is another important thing. Again, the development and maintenance of institutional database through management information system for the purpose of maintaining and enhancing the institution. This is what I mentioned, the ERP. And again, the development of quality culture in the institution. And again, the preparation of annual quality assurance report that everyone knows. Whoever got the NAC accreditation, the next year onwards, immediately on the next year onwards, they have to submit the annual quality assurance report to the National Assessment and Accreditation Council. Now, they have introduced this as an online process. We have to submit this data also in online. Now, if the institution submit this data for the consecutive 5 years, if we consolidate that 5 years data, then we can submit the SSR for the next assessment of NAAC. Okay, this is a very simplest process now. This is what I explained in the initial part of my lecture. If you maintain all the data, that will be very, very easy to go for any assessment process and accreditation process, and the institution don't have to work for extra. Okay, you don't have to wait work for because you know that some of the institution, they wanted to apply for NAAC assessment, they have to work for 1 year to make the report ready. Okay, if you maintain all the records, within no time you can go for assessment and accreditation process. These are actually again the benefits of the internal quality assurance cell. One is actually the ensure the highlight and level of clarity and focus in institutional functioning towards quality enhancement. Again, ensure the internalization of the quality culture. Again, ensure enhancement and coordination among various activities of the institution and institutionalize all good practices. Again, provide a sound basis of decision making to improve the institutional. This is what the governing play a major role. Okay, but even though the institute doing so much of things, if you don't have a good governance, then nothing come out from that particular institution. Thereby, the governance is a very, very important thing in any hierarchy. That is what in one of the criteria in the NAAC is a governance and leadership. A governance and the leadership quality is a very, very important thing. If the HOD is a very good leader, then only the department will improve. If the principal is a very good leader, then only that particular college will improve. And the management, if the secretary is some visionary action, then only again that particular institution will improve. Like that, the university. That's a vice chancellor have a lot of visionary action, then only the university will improve. Like that, these are all chain reaction. Here, the quality comes from the students, again the teacher, again the principal, like that, the quality things will improve. Thereby, again, this is what the making the quality again act as a dynamic system for quality changes in higher education is in the QAC. Again, build an organized methodology of documentation and internal communication. That is a very, very important thing. Again, the college also, for example, the administration and the management, they have to give the due respect to the particular internal quality assurance cell. There, the cell has to be constituted with certain quality members. That is another important thing. Here, to establish a strong and empowered IQAC cell, whatever you need a dynamic academicians. That is a very, very important thing. They have some dedication towards that particular institution. Then only the IQAC cell play a major role. There must be a dynamic academicians come, administrative leadership quality, again the institution with participative leadership side. That is what the decentralization process. They have to share the department and the administration, they have to share all their things to the internal quality assurance cell, and they should become a independent, again, autonomous body of that particular institution. The convener and members of the internal quality assurance cell steering committee should be committed, studious, proactive, dynamic, and well equipped with a skill to handle the human and physical resource of that particular college or any higher education institution. Okay, these are some more points. They should establish an excellent communication with the principal and management, motivate and mold the attitudes of the staff, students, the rest of the stakeholders. Again, the IQAC should study the NAAC methodology. Okay, they have to keep on updating the NAAC methodology. That is very, very, you know that they are changing their methodologies time to time. Recently, in last February also, they have changed certain things in the SSR. Okay, this IQAC, the internal quality assurance cell members, they should aware of all these things. They have to read the time to time notices that comes from the NAC. They keep on updating their knowledge in that particular area. So based on that, again, they have to improve that particular higher education institution. Again, if possible, they should call for departmental and individual presentation every year to do the ranking according to the scoring system provided by the NAC. Okay, what they are suggesting is every department has to be ranked internally by the internal assessment process. Like what we are doing the internal assessment for the students, the college has to do the internal assessment for the each department. Through that, how we are giving the mark to the student, you have to give mark to that particular department. Through that, you can improve the quality of that particular department. If the department quality improves, definitely the college quality will improve. Again, these are again the participation in framing the university curriculum here to encourage the teachers in the college to take initiative in designing revising the curriculum of the university courses through increased participation in the board of studies activities, again making concrete suggestion for revision. Okay, for example, all the board of studies member, they have to give their own ideas and again vision towards that particular curriculum. Okay, for example, now what we are doing is we are forming the curriculum, we are revising the curriculum, we don't make some in-depth knowledge on the latest technology is not improved. Because the core paper, for example, in the basic degree subjects, such as maths, physics, chemistry, biology and all, certain basic degrees and again core subjects, here you are not able to change not much, but even then some things to be changed. That is the reason they wanted to increase some elective papers. Okay, in that elective papers, you can change the time to time improvement in that particular in the area of research. In that way, you can enrich the curriculum based on the societal and industrial aspect. And again, need-based certification courses that also to be introduced that I have, that the IQAC also can give certain ideas. Okay, for few examples, I have given some few examples, but this is not a limited one. There are so many certificate programs based on the societal aspects as well as the local needs. Add-on courses also can be introduced. Again, you can conduct some competitive examination training and again net coaching, remedial coaching, all the things you can introduce through as a add-on courses. For that, you can make certain committee also. That certain cells, introduce certain cells also in the particular organization that can be monitored through the internal quality assurance cell. Again, these cells can enable the colleges in catering the diverse educational needs of our students coming from the different strata of our society. Again, the teachers anchoring these courses should work with a missionary seal and they should dynamic in approach. Again, there are so many things to do with the teachers, administration and management. Again, the students enrollment ratio automatically can increase if you improve all these qualities. Okay, the scholar for advanced learners, slow learners, everyone knows that. Again, the use of ICT and modern methods of teaching learning, which we already discussed. Okay, again, the continuous internal assessment that is very, very important. The IQAC should design its own continuous internal evaluation system at the college level. Again, it should contain announced and unannounced test. Again, unit test, individual and group assignments, PPT competitions, online tests. These are very limited, but the teachers have their own technology to evaluate the students. Okay, because nowadays there are a lot of students, lot of teachers, they are using the internet based technology to evaluate the students. Okay, not those technologies are not there in the PowerPoint. Okay, there are so many internet based technology. There are many teachers, they are using that particular technology to evaluate the students. Like that, the continuous internal assessment is very, very important for the department as well as the students. Teacher quality improvement, this I have already explained. That can be the internal quality assurance that is actually that has to support the teachers and again administration to do all the things. Again, the promotion for these things only we are getting the data from. So for a self-appraisal report from each faculty members, because every faculty members has to attend certain conferences or workshops or some refresher and orientation courses every year. Okay, in that way they can improve their knowledge. Okay, it should also encourage the department to also organize workshops, seminars and conferences. Okay, then the consultancy activities also, for example, the few consultancy, that is a very important thing. In NAAC criteria, they ask consultancy services. Okay, even you can provide some of the consultancy with money or without money. Some minimal amount also you can provide certain consultancies for the local company. Okay, for example, you are giving some training to the local people to grow the mushroom grow. Okay, for that, if you charge some 500 rupees from that to train that particular people for 1 week, that is also consultancy. Okay, like that you can make some consultancy, then you can sign some MOUs with some local companies also. Thereby you can improve the consultancy activities. Again, the infrastructure development, again the feedback I have already explained. Okay, that all with the about the IQAC, the internal quality assurance cell that have been maintained. Now you all gone through my slides. Now you can just have a look, okay, how the internal quality assurance cell has to be, has to play a role in the higher education institution. You can clearly understand the internal quality assurance cell is everything for that particular higher education institution. Okay, maybe with this I can stop my lecture. If you have one or two queries, I can try to answer the questions. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ponpandian, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We will just go into the next question answer session. There are few questions which have been asked by the participants. I will just put the questions to you, sir. Sir can answer
Okay,
this
sir.
question.
Okay,
The
sir.
first question is from Dr. Shanti, Associate Professor from Kamadhenu Arts and Science College, Satyamangalam.
Yes, sir, please.
How an ecosystem for innovation can be created in our institution? Other than incubation center, what else can be done for creation and transfer of knowledge?
For example, that particular college might have an internal quality assurance cell. From that, they can form some subcommittee for that particular two things to develop. That college might have some research centers. Some of the faculty may be interested to do some research. I don't know about whether that particular college have a research center, and they have some PG program also, UG and PG programs. Some of the college teachers, they have some research knowledge. Based on that, they can do some research, and that research may be either the needs to help the particular local students or local people or the local companies, and from that they can discuss something to that particular company. From that they can start to make certain consultancy projects.
Maybe they can get in touch with you, sir. I will, I think, from Kamadhenu College, Dr. R. Shanti, you can contact Ponpandian, sir, at Bardiyar University. He looks after the IQAC also, Bardiyar University. You can get in touch with him. The next question is from Dr. Vasudevan, Vice Principal, VLB Janimal College.
Yes,
is
sir.
there any formulative method / approach to set the benchmark for IQAC in order to strengthen all its activities?
Okay, that all based on that particular organization, sir. Okay, there is no benchmark, but each higher education institution, they have their own benchmark. Okay, they have to set their own benchmark. For example, some of the UG college, they can do only certain things. They have certain restriction. Like that, there is a PG college. They have their own restriction. There's other research institution. They have their own restriction. Okay, based on these only, they can set their benchmarks.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
that's benchmark that all decided based on that particular institution. There is no specific benchmark for that.
Okay, sir. So the next question is from Professor Rajendran, Dean Management Science, KG College of Arts and Science.
Okay,
In
sir.
the revised guidelines of NAC,
Okay.
computations of course attainment and program attainment is insisted. Since common curriculum is followed by an institution like us affiliated to university like our Bharatiya University,
Okay.
different institutions under the same university follow different course outcome. I hope there is no logic in it. Would it be the duty of the BOs of university when they approve the curriculum to define common program objectives and outcome?
Okay, okay, this is possible, sir, because as you know that our university, there's a Bharatiya University, till they have not gone for outcome-based education. For the affiliated college, they don't have much problem in that, because in the curriculum, there is certain flexibility. In the curricular aspect of the NAC SSR, there are certain flexibility for the affiliated colleges. But even though these affiliated colleges, college syllabus also has to be improved. Now, this year, I hope our university, they are going to conduct the Board of Studies meeting in this month. Through that, they have a plan to go for outcome-based education. Through that, this affiliated college also have some room to conduct certain certificate and value-added courses in their own. In that way, they can definitely improve this particular.
Okay. So the next question is from Dr. S. Vidya. She's IQAC Director, KG College. Thank you for presentation, sir. The key indicator feedback on syllabus.
Okay.
How it can be implemented in affiliated colleges?
They can give the recommendation to the board. For example, if they have some problem in the physics syllabus, okay, they can immediately write to the board of studies chairman to that particular subject. Okay, in that board of studies, that has to be introduced. This is what the action taken from the feedback or analysis by the students or teachers.
The next question is from Dr. Muthusamy, Principal AVP College. Yes, nice presentation, sir. According to your experience, could you please suggest important software available to match with NAC evaluation? A software which is available to NAC evaluation.
There are so many softwares, sir. Okay, for example, because the software which you have to use is only to collect the data, because don't go for based on the NAC criterion based data collection, because you have to provide data for so many other agencies also. So my advice is you have to have some common database to collect all the data from your institute. From that data, you can give data to different agencies. This is what my suggestions. Don't go for NAC criterion based data collection, but that there are so many agencies to provide the data.
Okay, sir. So the next question is from Dr. B. Ramesh, PhD CAS. Yes, the academic and administrative audit is to be conducted every year or once in 2 years?
Sir, every year. The institution has to conduct the internal audit every year, but the external audit, they can conduct once in 2 years or 3 years, sir. This is there in the NAC website also.
Okay, sir. Sir, thank you very much, sir. I think there are a lot of questions still. Since we have to go to the second session, okay, I would request the IQAC coordinators or the NAC coordinators or the participants to directly get in touch with Ponpandian sir, so that he would be able to clear more of your doubts. I would request our patron of our association, Mr. Khalil, to propose the vote of thanks for this session.
Thank you, Dr. Ponpandian, which you have delivered a very good speech over the subject, and it is nice and it is very encouraging to all the institutions to carry over. In the days to come, let the staff contact you directly to get the things forwarded. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for all the participants in this
Thank you,
webinar.
sir.